Hi everyone, I'm Sean, and I'm here to go over some tips for planning your study time. I've set up an example schedule here, and as you can see, I have a physics test coming up this Friday, so I want to start planning my study time for it. First things first is I want to make sure that I'm studying on the days leading up to the test instead of studying all at once on one day, especially the day right before the test. That's just going to cause a lot of stress and probably not give me the result that I'm looking for. So if I look at my schedule, I can see I have open time. I have time between classes, I have times in the evenings, but I want to make sure I do well on this test, so I'm going to start opening up some more time for studying. This is when I start looking at what activities that I have throughout the week that are fixed and what ones are flexible. Fixed activities include my classes, math, physics, and English, my lab, the travel time to the lab, my work, and my guitar lessons. Those are activities that I can't really change when they're happening. I'm going to most likely have to be there at those times. I'm not going to be able to change it. On the other hand, flexible activities like Warhammer, Dungeons & Dragons, when I practice guitar, when I exercise, those are activities that I can change. I don't always have to do them at those times every week. Another fixed activity, or potentially flexible, depending on the person that isn't included here, could be sports or practicing your religion. So your schedule may be slightly different than mine. It's also very important to try and study at a fixed place and fixed time. And I can see I have a fairly consistent time of exercising here, though it does fluctuate by about an hour and 15 minutes. I could move my exercise times down, potentially even just removing it on this day, Tuesday, moving them later in the day, and even moving my exercise down even more and my guitar lessons down to open up more study time. While this may be fine for just this test, if say this was a very big test, or if I had two tests in the same week, I'd want to start doing this process not just for the week of the test, but maybe for the week before the test, and even maybe the week before that. Especially if I have two tests, I want to make sure I have enough study time put aside for each one to fully study them. Well, that's really all I have to say. I'll now be handing you guys over to Ishika to give you some more tips.
So our next study tip is to study as soon after your class as possible. For example, we have this time set aside here after a Chem 214 lecture to review what we just went over in lecture. This is because 1 hour spent shortly after class will do as much good in developing an understanding and memory of materials as several hours a few days later. Rewriting your notes while they're still fresh in your mind will make it easier to transfer information from your short-term to long-term memory. The next study tip is to utilize odd hours during the day for studying. The scattered 1 or 2 hour free periods between classes can easily be wasted. For example, we have a 3-hour gap between this Chem 214 lab and Bio 320 lecture. But planning to use this time for studying will result in free time for other activities at other times in the week. Further, it is important to schedule a regular review. This means to schedule 1 day per week to review the work in each of your courses and be sure you're up to date. This review should be cumulative and briefly cover all the work that's been done so far in the semester. And this may take anywhere between 15 minutes up to an hour, but will save you tons of time when you're preparing for tests and finals. For example, here on Monday we have time set aside to review for our Bio 309 class, as well as our Chem 214 class. And then on Tuesday we have time set aside to review for our Bio 202 class. The next tip is very important and often overlooked, and this is to limit your study time to no more than 2 hours on any one course at one time. This is because after 1 to 2 hours of studying, your ability to concentrate decreases rapidly. Taking a break and then switching to another course will provide the change necessary to keep up your efficiency. So space out your study periods and take appropriate breaks, such as 10 to 15 minutes after 1 to 1.5 hours of studying. So this is what we've done right here. We've scheduled a 15-minute break after studying for Bio 202, and then we're switching over to our Bio 320 lecture. So this break is necessary to give your brain a break and get ready to start studying for the next subject. Again, I want to emphasize the importance of taking breaks to avoid burning out. Try to perform some sort of physical activity in your day, whether that be going for a walk, going to the gym, or doing some yoga, because physical activity will leave you feeling energized and improve your focus and attention for studying. So in our schedule, we have time set aside to go to the gym in the evening on Monday, and then we have a workout scheduled on Tuesday morning, and we also have time set aside on Wednesday. Lastly, leave some unscheduled time for flexibility. Lack of flexibility is one of the main reasons students do not follow a schedule. And this is why we have lots of unscheduled time set aside in the schedule. And this is because things can take longer than expected, and if this so happens, this won't affect the schedule you have planned for the rest of the day. So these are our tips for forming better study habits, and we hope these will help you stay more productive throughout the semester. Thank you all for watching.